Kevin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, we crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Lavris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified, Season 2, Episode 13. My name is Nick Lavris, and here with me, as always, is Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell. We're live right now on YouTube, so if I guess you can't hear this and then come join us, but next time, come join us on YouTube if you're listening on this in the podcast. We're here to talk Bears. So we got some Bears news we're going to go through. We're going to go around the league, give you some terrible gambling and fantasy advice, all of which all of us here at Barely Qualified are proudly fueled by the fizz of Glenrock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival, crafted with pure cane sugar, poured into classic glass bottles, and bursting with nostalgic flavor. Glenrock is more than a drink, it's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or my personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glenrock is bringing joy back to every corner of Lake County. Want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glenrock Pop on Facebook for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com and find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glenrock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. So, let's get into it, boys. Chicago Bears are on their bye week this week. Kind of a bummer for the people who make a podcast dedicated about talking about the Chicago Bears. But you know what? It's not going to stop us from coming out here, talking some ball for you, the people. That's what we do this for, right? So, we got, I combed through the interwebs to find some Bears news to talk through. Thought that would be plentiful, and it really wasn't that much. So we're going to kind of talk some Bears stuff as we go. Just a little housekeeping from last week. Josh Blackwell, you may know him from blocking the field goal against the Raiders at the end of the game that won the game for the Bears. He was named Special Teams Player of the Week in the NFC, so that's pretty cool. Kevin Byard, safety, who had two interceptions, was Pro Football Focus Defensive Player of the Week. Also pretty cool. One thing I want to talk to you guys about, though, before we kind of go into that's really all the news. Not a lot of news, but there is something I want to talk to you guys about, though, because I've seen it in a couple different places now. Max Crosby has been incredibly complimentary of Caleb, both in his post-game presser, and I'm not sure if you guys caught any of his podcasts today. He has been talking up Caleb like kind of a lot, and it seems like he seems like a very genuine guy from the incredibly limited amount of stuff I've seen from him. But in this case, he seems very genuine. Like, do you think that maybe like the national media might be wrong about something, and that Caleb might actually have something? Because you talk to the national media, especially as recently as like 2 weeks ago, throwing the B word out there, bust, right? Everyone's talking bad on Caleb, but then Max Crosby, who is like a fucking dude in the NFL right now, saying he's very complimentary of him. So like, is this like, are you guys like, this seems more than just like your normal, like, yeah, the opponent, everybody's good in the NFL. It seems like he's like legit. Jay, like, did you see this? And like, what is your thinking? What do you think about all this stuff?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I did see that. I thought that was super cool too. Max is one of my favorite guys in the NFL. I think he's a cool dude. Like I genuinely respect his opinions on things. Like I think he's just a straight shooter. He's not just bullshitting to like get podcast views. I think he's just 100% speaking from the heart, right? Like genuine. And I love to hear that from him. There's so much about Caleb, and I'm pretty hard on Caleb from a football perspective, but Caleb's such a polarizing figure in the national media because, I paint my nails. He's not a clubhouse guy and all this shit. And like, cast that aside. He can ball. He's young. He's working on things. He's developing. And it was really cool to see Max. I mean, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. That was my defensive player of the year pick is Max. Like, go figure. That's not like a bold pick. But I thought a couple of things. Max had that monstrous game. He was getting constant pressure. I mean, he was just disrupting for a quarter and a half, and he still was a force even when they made the offensive line switches that they made. But he never sacked him. And like that's something that is probably carrying over as well. As like, hey, this dude can read defenses. He can scramble. He's elusive. He can get the job done, and he's going to be able to get better. So it was nice. It was refreshing to hear an actual NFL player's perspective on Caleb, right? An elite NFL edge rusher's perspective on Caleb, and like giving him some kudos for being a baller. And maybe I needed to hear that too, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
So maybe that's why I'm in love with those comments, but it's totally warranted. And again, like Max, for wreaking so much havoc on that game and getting pressures, he never took him down once. And I think that that's something that sticks with him as well. Is like this guy has the tools to be an elite NFL quarterback. So that was my takeaway from it. I respect his opinion, and I was more than thrilled to hear it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with everything you just said. Drew, did you see that? Did you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would like to say it was awesome, cool, like, yeah, it's also two NFL players kind of like blowing smoke up each other's ass after
in the club.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, Caleb did the same thing to him, saying like he was probably the best player he's played against so far in his career. And so like it turns into I'm not going to get vulgar on this, but one of those
smoke blowing contest,
smoke blowing session where you're both kind of, propping each other up because you know what, you don't have to play each other again this year. And it's like, why not? So cool to hear like that other people acknowledge our players, we acknowledge theirs. So, but as far as going any really further than that, I think it's all just smoke at this point right here.
Well, I'll tell you what. Sorry, Nick.
No, go ahead.
Once Caleb and Max announce like a co-sponsored Adidas deal or Nike deal, I will totally take back all of that complimentary stuff I said. Maybe they're in the same brand, like forced to do some like shit like that.
Hey, but if it means they made a good friendship and like they can recruit him in the off season, great. Yeah, all for it. But if it's just a bunch of words being thrown around after a game that was competitive, okay, that's football. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was leaning that direction after just like the press conference. I kind of like brushed it off. Not a big deal. Players do this all the time in the press conference. But then I saw the clips of him kind of circulating around my Instagram feed today of him on his podcast, kind of doubling down and even like tripling down a little bit. So it kind of, I don't know, granted he was answering a question, so it's not like he brought it up out of the blue, but I do think that, I don't know, he seemed very genuine. And also, Jay, like you said, I kind of needed to hear that because, I feel like I've been just like fighting, not I, but like we've been just kind of like fighting this like Caleb Williams battle against the national media, we being Bears fans, and to have like reinforcements was like a really nice and like welcome sight, like, so I definitely was like, yeah, he's right. Max Crosby, he knows what he's talking about. It probably was definitely just like NFL players, just like, you're, exactly like, oh, you're in the NFL club, we'll talk good about you or whatever. But I do think that, I don't know, maybe I needed to hear it. So I'm happy it happened. So
for sure.
Okay. Well, to kind of tie back to another piece of that Raiders game, because I thought it was such a fun game, and just like more information has kind of come out about that game in the days since we recorded on Monday night. But during an interview with Josh Blackwell, current NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, he was talking about how the Bears long snapper Scott Daly told Josh Blackwell that the Raiders long snapper has a tell. He slightly moves the ball forward right before he snaps the ball. That information Blackwell used to time the snap and block the kick. And also the first two kicks the Raiders tried, he just missed them. Like he actually used it then too and just missed the kicks. So we don't need to go into a whole conversation about it. I just want to shout out that, you think like the long snapper probably hangs out with like the punter and the kicker. They do their special teams drills and then they go golfing the rest of the day. I don't know, it's cool that like this like, and this probably happens in most NFL locker rooms. That's what I just think of like special teamers, but it's cool to see these guys like watching film and like helping the team when they can. It's not just like, they're not just like so singularly focused that I thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like batters talking about pitchers, from a standpoint of, I picked something up. So like, I'm going to help my team out rather than not, just keep to myself. But that's also special teams has such, yes, it's a facet or a phase of the game, but such little overall influence over the great majority of games. If you see something, you better say something.
That's a good terrorism motto as well.
Yes.
For domestic homeland security.
Yes.
No, I love that. I think that, especially when you're talking about NFL special teamers, right? And none of these guys were playing special teams in college and growing up. Like that's a very, you're not good enough to play your position that you played for your whole life on an NFL roster. So can you take the assignment as a special teamer and excel in it? And can you do the homework? Can you watch the film? Can you get the tells? Like that's very cool. And I don't know, maybe I'm being overly optimistic about the coaching staff in general, but those are the small things that are huge and they can make or break games. They did make or break this game. And if you can put in the time and dedication to understand, listen, this is my assignment on this team. I am the special teams field goal edge rusher, and you can excel in that and get those little things and those little advantages. Like, hell yeah, man. That's not something that I think a lot of Chicago sports fans are used to, is executing perfectly in the really, really small stuff that doesn't always get, praise in the spotlight. So it's great. I was a little bit surprised that everyone was so telling about the tell, right? Yeah. Like maybe keep that in the back pocket in case you got to see that team or whatever. It's the Raiders, so who cares? But
I think if it would have been like the Lions or the Packers or the Vikings or even somebody in the NFC, I think they would have probably kept that in their pocket. I hope so anyway, because that was my first thought as well. But then it's like, okay, well, it's the Raiders. You probably won't play them again for another 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, let it out, fly. Don't let any other teams take advantage of it. I think that's
fair point, fair counterpoint. I accept.
Yeah, but I definitely had that first thought too. Is like, what are you doing? But yeah, that's anyway.
It's nothing. It truly is not. It's who cares.
It is a who cares. The Raiders long snapper will probably fix that, and that won't happen again. So, Bears got it while the getting was good, I guess. So, yeah. So that kind of cleans up all the Bears Raiders stuff. Now we can kind of dive into what the bye week is truly for: nitpicking and going over things that we have no right to really talk about as fans. So, first bullet point in that area. Rumors are swirling, and by rumors swirling, I mean we saw it happen on TV, that Ben Johnson is thinking about benching Braxton Jones at left tackle for the time being, for like the foreseeable future, in favor of the undrafted second-year man out of Canada. I don't know what school in Canada, but somewhere in Canada, Theo Benedict, a.k.a. the Canadian Eagle from Hard Knocks fame last season. I think, I guess the question is like, is this going to happen? We talked about it on Monday, but I think it warrants a conversation. Does Ben Johnson pull the trigger and pull Braxton for the time being? Drew, what do you think?
I think you have to. The amount of bad tape that he's put on, just watching back through that game and multiple games, is, if you're going to have any influence towards pushing Braxton to maybe salvaging his reputation or his ability to block, period, you gotta make a stance with him other than just pulling him for one game. Like, if you just go right back to him saying, are you really sending a message that this is not tolerable, or this is, we can't put up with this? So I think it has to be an elongated break from him until you see something from him either in practice or him from an attitude standpoint. When he was holding his helmet when he got pulled, he just looks so nonchalant and so non-committal to the game anyway. So you got to see something more from him, that either he can execute his job properly or something more from a attitude standpoint, that like he wants to be a big part of this offensive line, because he does have one of the biggest assignments of protecting the blind side. And I don't trust a guy like that right now to do it. So you have to make the change for an elongated period, or at least out of the bye for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Jay, I assume you agree and you want to get him out of there.
Yeah, I do. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that it sent a message too, and we talked about this a little bit on our last show, but I do think it sent a message that Braxton got pulled halfway through the second quarter, right? That's a move that you could have done at halftime. And I think it kind of shows a little bit more of an emphasis on displeasure with performance when you're doing it mid-quarter. Right. And I think the writing's on the wall with that move, Drew. I mean, you nailed it. It's like there's so much bad tape out there. The question is what's next, right? I mean, so we don't have a left tackle at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. By position, right? We drafted Trapillo, and Ozzy's a right tackle, right? And Darnell Wright's our right tackle, and Theo Benedict's, do we know, right? Like he's not a left tackle in the NFL. What was interesting is I was listening to Carmen and Yurko today, and they had Courtney Cronin on, the Bears beat reporter, the best in the business, by the way. So I am so in love with her. And I will continue DMing her until she takes a guest interview spot on the BQ pod. But what she was saying is that was the hot topic of the conversation they were having too, is what is going to happen at left tackle. And Ben Johnson doesn't know. We haven't been told that yet. Mm. So Theo's getting reps at left tackle and right tackle throughout the bye week. Thank God we have the bye week. And I think that was part of the strategy of taking Braxton out, knowing that you have the bye week to be able to work on this. But I mean, is Trapillo getting reps at left tackle? Is it only Benedict at left tackle? He's getting reps at left and right tackle. When Darnell Wright gets healthy again, is he going to be back at right tackle? In what happens to Trapillo? So there's a lot of, I mean, we don't know. So I'm not going to pretend to predict what's going to happen, because I don't know, and I think the reason why we don't know is because I don't think that the coaching staff knows yet. But luckily, we do have the bye week. I would love to see Braxton Jones never take another snap, to be completely honest with you. And I'd like to see what the other guys can do. I mean, you drafted Trapillo in the second round, right? But why did you draft him in the second round if he's a right tackle and he's not going to be able to? Are we going to go along with Darnell Wright at right tackle and Trapillo at right tackle as a depth piece in the second round? So it's interesting. We'll see. But I mean, that's the big storyline. It's like who is going to fill in at left tackle, and hopefully we're good. But I'm cool cutting ties with Braxton and just seeing what happens at this point, because he's shown that he's not it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the question necessarily wasn't, do you think this happens? I think the question is, what is exactly going to happen, right? Like, who's going to play, right? Because I think, I mean, like you guys said, like, you could have pulled them at halftime very easily. You pulled them in the middle of the second quarter, kind of to make a statement. I don't know if there's hey, that was we benched you just to kind of, I don't know, get your head back in the game, whatever. We're going to go right back to you. I don't know if that exists, right? Like, you pull somebody this, like, in the middle of the game, I feel like that's kind of curtains, at least for now. So I definitely think this is going to happen. I definitely, like, when the Bears drafted Darnell Wright at, I believe, number 10 overall, my first thought was, okay, they're clearly going to move him to left tackle, because you're not going to take a right tackle 10 overall. We didn't know Ryan Poles very well yet, so and now the more we know, he very well could have taken a right tackle in number 10. But I do think that there's some long-term plans to get Darnell Wright over at left tackle. So you put him over at left tackle, and then you put either Theo or Ozzie at right tackle. So I do think that would be why you're seeing Theo Benedict playing both. So I don't know. I would like to see that, because again, if you draft a right tackle who's your like steady right tackle for like 15 years, the number 10 overall, great. But like you said, Jay, if you have a right tackle at 10 overall, then you have another backup right tackle in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in a position to be drafting depth right now, especially in the offensive line. Like we could, so I'm not going to say it's easy to flip, because I know that like professional offensive line play is a huge difference from position to position. So I know that it's hard to flip, but I do think that if there's a possibility to, I'd like to see that, because one, it'll make them better just learning both positions. And two, you want to get as many of your like high draft picks, which, you would typically, and not just because they're high draft picks, but because conventional logic would say that high draft picks are talented players. So you want to get as much of your like talent on the field at one time. So that's why I want to see, like, ideally you see Darnell and Ozzie as your tackles. That's what I want to see for the next like 10 years, right? Like that would be ideal.
Well, would you like to see I was going to say, would you like to see Kieran Amagachi at left tackle?
Yeah, for my high school team, sure.
Yeah.
Really good. You guys did see him for your high school.
We did.
That's so weird, but yeah. All right. So Bears tackle situation, I guess that's going to kind of unfold the next, week and a half or so. We'll learn more. But yeah, I do think that we've probably seen the last of Braxton Jones this season, barring some kind of injury or something of that nature. So the next topic I want to get into, though, I actually had to do a little research to kind of see who the Bears could even trade for in this scenario. I want to talk running backs. Specifically, I want to talk about the Bears trading for a running back. In my like dumb meatball brain, right? The Bears have a week and a half still to go until their next game. So this would be the time to trade for somebody so they could have more time between games to learn the new system. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not, but that makes sense to me. So that's why I put it here. In my mind, if you're going to make a trade for a running back, this is the time to do it. So I guess the question is like, I think we all do. We all want to see something, because look, DeAndre Swift, I don't know how you guys feel like specifically about him. I think DeAndre Swift is a fine player that is being asked to do things that aren't his strength right now, right? DeAndre Swift is an outside in open space player, and he's pretty good at that, right? He's not elite, I wouldn't even say close to elite, but he's like probably about above average of an NFL player when you get him in space, I think. Maybe you're right around average, but he's like a fine player. But when the Bears try and go between the tackles, like you just see it, you watch the games, you're like, okay, this guy just runs into the offensive line and he goes down. He's not a between the tackles guy. He's not a bell cow back. So I think the Bears do need to supplement that with somebody that can do that. And I think, again, Roschon was kind of the thought he could do that. Haven't seen him. Monangai, he's flashed a little bit, and I think he could be something. But if you want to look outside the team, I wrote down 2, 4, 6, 7 names. Is that quick counting? 7 names here. Oh, there's more. That goes on the second page. Are there any of these names on here that interest you in the slightest bit? I limited this to players that I thought the Bears could probably get for like a 6th or 7th round pick, like, almost nothing. So I don't want to go through the full list. I'll got to touch on some of them as you guys do. But Drew, any of these running backs like kind of tickle your fancy as it is?
No.
Yeah.
No, I there are a couple of names in there that like I could see if, yes, you're giving a 6th or 7th away. Sure. For me, of all of those names, it's more of like I want them to try at the running back position. Like I want you to take a swing at somebody and give them opportunity and give them other reps other than DeAndre Swift. Yes, Kyle Monangai has gotten some run and some opportunity to block. He hasn't gotten a extended series or hasn't gotten an extended show from Ben Johnson. So We don't know exactly what he could be. And I don't think they scheme anything for him anyway. So we know two things from the running back position. Nick, you alluded to one. DeAndre Swift is not doing what he's being asked to do way too much. And two, Roschon Johnson is just kind of dead to the running back position anymore. He is now a special teamer. Everything else, as far as the running back position goes for me in the Chicago Bears right now, is just a question mark. I don't know what to do. So I'm down. And I think we said this in the preseason, throw bodies at it, throw as many bodies as you want out there. It's the highest injury rate position in the league, in the shortest longevity. So why not throw a bunch of young guys at it? If it does have a low cost, yes, Nick, I'm okay with any of those names that you listed right there, but nothing like stands out to me like, oh, I got to have him.
Yeah, no, for sure. None of these players are got to have them guys. Just that's why they're available for trade. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're not looking at like, oh, I'll take, Ashton Genty or something like that. Like those guys aren't going to be like, so yeah, like, I don't know. Jay, any of these names kind of interest you in the slightest bit? Anything kind of like perk up on you when you see any of these names?
So just so everyone listening knows too, it's Rico Dowdle, Jalen Wright, Jaleel McLaughlin, Keaton Mitchell, Jerome Ford, Dameon Pierce, Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, right? A seventh for Dameon Pierce sounds like a deal, right? I mean, it does. I know it's stinky, Drew, but like, here's the deal. The only reason why I say that, I'm not a Dameon Pierce like advocate, but clearly Ben Johnson does not believe that Roschon Johnson has any part of this offense. Because if he did, he would have a touch or two, and he doesn't. I mean, and it's not like Ben Johnson doesn't know that DeAndre Swift's what strengths and weaknesses are. He's a professional football coach, one of the best to do it. Like one of the best offensive minds of our generation. So like he knows. I know he knows. He knows better than we know. So Roschon, I wouldn't be surprised if Roschon dropped the team by. Because Homer's
special teamers. He's a special teamer for life.
No, Homer's better special teamer. That's a duplicate.
He definitely is.
Homer's you're right. You're right.
Definitely is. Travis is coming back like after the bye. So like, why would you waste two roster spots for the exact same person? Just Roschon's worse at special teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. Now, I also don't
requirement to have a pillow helmet on each team. There you go. So there you go.
I think the Packers had bring that average up to you only need one every fourth team, because I feel like every other guy in the Packers has the pillow helmet.
The combos we were having on Sunday Night Football about the pillow helmets were just too good. I was laughing my ass off. All those memes. I think Paul even sent some, which is unfortunate that I just gave him credit. So
fuck you,
Paul. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see, for greedy fantasy purposes, I don't want to see Monangai get cut at, I don't want to see 4 running backs rostered if they're all going to be bad. But would it be worth it to see an inside runner for a 7th round pick? I mean, what's a 7th round pick? It's nothing. So that I'm cool with that. And obviously we need an uptick in running, and Swift isn't that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think of these names, I think you said Dameon Pierce. I like him. Somebody like Jerome Ford, even as stinky as this is, even someone like Rico Dowdle, someone who can kind of go between a little bit more. Like you see Jalen Wright, and you see Raheem Mostert, and these are kind of they're kind of similar skill set to DeAndre Swift. Definitely like Raheem Mostert a couple years ago better, but if we're going to trade for a running back, I do want to see someone who's actually good at running between the tackles. And not that Rico Dowdle is, but I think he has more experience.
I know you guys said that, and I know you said that's more of what Roschon should be doing, but doesn't that speak to maybe Ben Johnson just doesn't want to run those plays? Maybe
Well,
he
does,
doesn't
though.
like.
We watched those plays, and he does.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but if you then that's the major question that I have of like, if you've got that, if you've got that in your playbook and you're wanting to do that, and you have a guy there, yeah, maybe you didn't draft him, and maybe he doesn't do anything. Why not just fucking try it? Why not just throw it out there? Like that screams to me more of the fact that like, yeah, you might believe more in your RB1. Who else are you really going to get to march out there other than a guy that you draft yourself? Or yeah, I have a feeling it's more on Ben Johnson than it is on any of these guys that could come in and make a statement.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I just
Okay.
when I think of Ben Johnson, offensive play calling, I mean, it's impossible not to think of the Detroit running back situation that he had the last year with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, you're not going to get a David Montgomery or a Jahmyr Gibbs via trade, but you can get guys, you can kind of moneyball it, right? You can kind of build them in the aggregate, as they say. You can get somebody cheaper who can run between the tackles, pair him with DeAndre Swift. You got like your poor man's, Sonic and Knuckles situation. And I think that like, that's the play calling that Ben Johnson was at in his best. So I think that that's kind of, I mean, it would make sense to me that is what you want to get, right? Somebody who can go between the tackles and somebody who can go outside. You can split carries with them. And then maybe every once in a while you flip it, Swift goes in, kind of catch him off guard. But that's, I mean, the whole, like, whether you want to call it Sonic and Knuckles, you want to call it Thunder and Lightning, whatever you want to call that specific type of running back situation, like that works in the NFL. And Ben Johnson's had success with it in his career already. So I think that is like, if you see the Bears, well, first of all, DeAndre Swift probably won't be on the team next year, right? I mean,
No.
this is probably the last year.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be drafting a running back next year. They're probably going to sign a running back next year, unless Monangai turns into something, then they'll keep him and they'll draft. I still think they're going to draft a running back next year.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if you had two running backs on your roster next year, like your top two running backs that are actually going to get decent carries that have a similar skill set. I think they're going to be different kind of players, similar to, again, the Montgomery Jahmyr Gibbs situation.
I hope.
Yeah. Well, I hope.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
And then one other thing I wrote about the running back situation, I actually do think that Tank Bigsby would have been a great fit with DeAndre Swift, and they let him go to the Eagles. I don't know exactly what the compensation was. I should have wrote that down. But
It was a sixth.
Sixth. Wasn't much.
Yeah, like that's not a lot. And I think that, not that I think I don't think that he's a great player. So
you can find him on Dynasty free agency. So go get him.
Is he really?
A fifth and a sixth is what they got.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's kind of a lot. So I probably would have done that. But yeah, you're not going to take him behind Saquon. But anyway, I thought he would have fit nicely between the tackles to pair with DeAndre Swift outside. But, that's actually fifth and a sixth. That would have been too much. I would have not liked that actually at the time. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
I will say this too, is our offensive line isn't like that Mauler mentality run offensive
That's
line.
also true. Yeah.
Dahlman, and you know me. I mean, I was calling for the signing of Dahlman for a very long time, but his strength was certainly not, run blocking.
Yeah.
It's not, and I mean, I don't know how Jonah Jackson grades out at run blocking. Honestly, I don't. That's the blind spot, but he doesn't look great. In the 4 weeks that I've been looking at him. So you have an elite offensive line and run scheming, and it's like, okay, DeAndre Swift would look a lot better, but like you pair that with a below average rush blocking offensive line, and you put DeAndre Swift trying to run between the tackles. It's like, what do we think is going to happen? You're going to get 3.3 yards a carry. And that's just not rocket science.
No, that makes sense. I mean, the offensive line is definitely kind of the root of it all, right? That's really kind of what it all comes down to. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that is an important piece of the run game, is that you have probably one of the best offensive lines in the NFL in Detroit. paving the way for these running backs. And then you come to Chicago and it's like, okay, well, these holes aren't quite as open as they were in Detroit. Right. So that also has something to do with it. So that's a good call out.
Never forget that we did not sign Derrick Henry for $8 million a year. And we did sign DeAndre Swift for more. And that's, just think about that.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense. It's a good deal at the time.
Derrick Henry might be though. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's old.
Yeah, well, I'll have to bring back Bust of the Week if he's washed because missed it by a few weeks. Okay. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, if the Bears trade a 7th round pick or a 6th round pick for a running back to help out, cool. If they don't, whatever. We'll just kind of trudge along
right
as we are.
Yeah, right on.
I don't think, we're going to talk about this in a little, I think I have this written down as a bullet point. Maybe not. We can talk about it a little bit, but I don't really see the Bears getting back into the playoff contention necessarily, or definitely not the division contention. So I don't know. I don't really know if you want to give up a draft pick just for a rental of a guy to help you win 8 games. That doesn't really,
Good point.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But one other thing I want to talk about, and this is the glaring problems with the Bears, the pass game. I mean, I didn't write down the penalties. We should talk about the penalties. Hopefully they're fixing the penalty problem this bye week. But the other glaring problem with the Bears is the defense, specifically the defense can't get any pressure and the defense can't stop the run. I think the secondary has been unbelievable given their injury situation and the fact that they are getting absolutely no help from a pass rush at all. I think the secondary deserves a lot of credit for how they played in the first month of the season, maybe excluding that Lions game. But again, I do think that the Lions game is kind of what I was expecting the secondary to look like. So the fact that they haven't looked like that all 4 games is I think a real credit to them because again, they're not getting any favors by the defensive line. Can Dennis Allen in this 2 weeks, now we're down to about a week and a half. Is there any way this guy can figure out a way to either get more pressure or stop the run? Or, I mean, ideally both, but let's just start with one of the two. I have an idea. It's so simple, it might just work. But I want to hear from you guys. Is there anything that the Bears can do to help this team be better against the run or get pressure? Drew, sorry.
Get extremely healthy and have all of your first teamers play. I mean, that would be number one overall. But I'm very concerned about just. It seems like we've gotten some more depth pieces at defensive tackle, but yet they don't have much. Much prowess to rushing the passer or clogging holes, but some of them shine at a time. I don't know where you go. I don't know where you go, whether it's in the play calling and you be more aggressive in the play calling with more blitzes, or you just try to drill into these guys that they need to hammer one aspect of the game. It needs to be either stop the run or stop the pass. I don't care what you guys do. So I'm just confused what giving up just about the most points in the league right now is not something that is going to make you a sustainable success. So something's got to happen in Dennis Allen's mind of how do I get these guys either motivated or how do I scheme through? And I think you have a little bit of a clue, Nick, but I'm not going to steal that from you.
Oh, I mean, you can steal away. Again, this is a very peanut brain suggestion that I have that I'm sure has already been suggested.
I wanted you to pull back, pull back out. Yeah, smooth fish brain, smooth fish brain, like you did with Eberflus last year.
He does have a smooth fish brain. I don't know, Jay, what do you think? And is there, if you're a defensive coordinator, how do you attack? I don't know. What do you think? Is there a way that the Bears can get better at either of these things?
I mean, at this point, it's kind of a personnel issue, right? I mean, you can't your concepts can't hit. I mean, you don't want to be sending 5 every time. I mean, that just leaves you so stranded.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that the Bears are going to be able to get adequate pressure if they're sending 5 a majority of the time anyway. Right? And that's the fear. It's like, oh, send an extra guy. Well, 5th guy's not getting there either. And then you're one less in the secondary in you know, what happens then. So I don't know. I mean, Drew, you kind of hit it too. It's like, get healthy. And you know what's fun too is Austin Booker's eligible to come back after the bye. I don't know what I've been searching so hard on the internet to get like an update on Austin Booker. The fact that I am putting so much like, when Austin Booker comes back, we're going to be fine. It's like, I don't know if that's true, you know, preseason all-star. And it's like, I don't know, but shit, at this point, you know, Dio's just a body out there. I mean, it was fun in the first half of the first game against the Vikings because we were like, we got a guy. He landed. And then the next 3.5 games, he hasn't even been, it's like, he doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. You know, pressure up the middle. Yeah, that's awesome. That is like, that's the formula in this defense, but we don't get that either. And we have some, you know, Grady Jarrett was out last week. Cool. But like, are we believers in Grady Jarrett being able to be like an actual force? I'm not.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
You know, so I'll believe it when I see it. So I don't know what the answer is, Nick. So I'm going to stop talking, but I want to hear what your peanut brain, smooth fish brain has to say about this. Yeah. I bet you it's going to be better than what I had to say because I don't have anything.
So I have 2 thoughts. First thought is see if Akeem Hicks is willing to come back out of retirement and play a year for the Bears because that dude was a fucking problem when he was on the Bears. I loved Akeem Hicks. He was like one of my favorite players. But seeing as he's probably over 40 now and doesn't really want to do that, I imagine that's probably not a viable option. No, but okay. When trying to think about what the problem is, right? You try and get pressure while also being able to stop the run. So if you blitz more, the problem is that if you blitz in like the wrong holes or the wrong gaps and it gets picked up on a run play, now not only is it kind of if they block it properly, so you have less people to tackle the ball, it's the carrier. So you're taking a 5 to 8 yard carry and turning it into like a 10 to 13 yard carry or more. So just like blitzing constantly, you lose coverage, and you also blitzing doesn't necessarily help you with the run. It can, but it doesn't always help you with the run. So blitzing all the time, not the answer. And then I started getting real outside the box. I'm like, what if like the Bears just didn't rush the passer and just like played 11 dudes in cover? Nope, that's not going to work. Yeah, all right, that's not going to work either. So I'm like, all right, let's get simple. Let's pull back the reins a little bit. Like, what if Jaquan Brisker, great player, good player, can be great, I think. I've always thought Jaquan Brisker he's not going to like, you know, if you ask Jaquan Brisker to be in coverage, I think you're in trouble. Like, he's not a coverage safety. That's not his strength. His strength is being a strong safety, hitter, make the tackles, that kind of thing. That's kind of his strength. So you put Jaquan Brisker kind of closer to the line of scrimmage, make it almost like a 8-man box instead of like, you know, or 8-man box. So you put him down the line of scrimmage. Honestly, put him down the line of scrimmage like every play. That's his base formation now, line of scrimmage. 1, this gives you the flexibility to blitz him more often without being obvious when he's going to blitz because he's always there. 2, it adds a run defender near the line of scrimmage to kind of help with, you know, take up a blocker and help the run defense. You lose the deep safety, which is a problem, but Dennis Allen plays primarily man, so it doesn't hurt you as much as you think it does. I don't know. That was my like, hey, what if I just move this piece here situation? Like, I don't know. It seems very easy, but I follow Jaquan Brisker on Twitter. X, and he has made it very clear that he likes playing near the line of scrimmage and likes getting his like face in the fray. So I don't know. I think that, you know, Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator, he's got his like defensive strategies and his like the way he likes to do things. I do think, you know, a good coach. Like, I know, like, I do think Ben Johnson is a good coach. Like, coaches that are good coaches don't have rigid schemes that they run no matter who their personnel is. A good coach sees what their team is, and again, they kind of bend their schemes around their players to put their players in their best positions to succeed. And I think that would not only help the defense, but you'd also put Jaquan Brisker in a position where he would rather play and he feels like he's better at. So I'm not a defensive coordinator in the NFL, so I'm not like running the X's and O's on this, but just like from a very meatball football fan stance, like that makes sense to me.
So I want to get in here because I love that. I had not thought about that. You know what that reminds me of is Troy Polamalu, right? I'm not saying Jaquan Brisker is Troy Polamalu, but I mean, you have a freakishly athletic. He is a strong safety / like small linebacker that wants to be in the fray, wants to fuck shit up. Yeah. And that's his strength. Because and again, not going to overly agree with everything you said and repeat everything you said, but like he wants to fuck shit up. He's not a coverage guy. He's a hard hitter, and I love it. Nick, I had not thought about that. I think that's a great idea. I don't know what that does with Dennis Allen's scheme. I just don't. But why the fuck not?
Yeah. Well, he got to lose.
What do you got to lose?
You're already like one of the worst defense in the league. What do you got to lose? Also, maybe try and throw some of the no pressures defense like I was talking about. That might be kind of fun. You never know. Let the quarterback have 30 seconds back there if he wants. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so one more piece of news I want to talk about before we get into like some more of the fun, non-Bears centric stuff of the show. We got another new another new Arlington Heights Stadium update yesterday when I was Googling Bears news. And I feel like we get a new stadium update every other day. And it's all okay. I'm just going to read it because I'll let you guys make your own mind up. All right. The Village of Arlington Heights has released a preliminary economic impact report, and I just can't read it anymore. This is so boring, and I just don't care. I don't know about you guys. Until there's shovels in the ground and construction equipment on site and we have an ETA, I just don't fucking want to hear about the stadium. I don't care. Do you guys have any interest in hearing the fucking small business, the local government second by second updates of this? I just don't fucking care anymore. And I'm tired of the Bears throwing it in our faces like it's a huge story because I don't care right now.
Drew, you want to take it?
No.
Yeah,
I'm done. I
I
can't hear any more about this until something of significance happens and there's a full commitment plan to, like you said, Nick, breaking ground. Yeah. And I'm done until then.
Yes.
Yeah. It's all just stupid marketing shit. Yeah. I care about football and the people on the field. And that's it. So give me that.
Kevin Warren in your minds.
No, but
yeah,
I could literally do like a TED talk for an hour, and I'm going to consolidate it to 30 seconds. But the step over, we've talked about this with baseball in years past, but the step over of sports and part of the fandom being well, it's a good move because it's making more money. It's I'm not a fucking business entrepreneur. I want meatball shit. I want dudes hitting each other, and I want my team to win. Can we get back to that? Can we just stay in that fucking lane and be happy for our team winning or losing? I don't give a fuck if the Bears are making $300 more million. I'm not making $300 more million. I'm probably paying more for this shit. So until the stadium's getting underway, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I am so fucking tired of these bureaucratic red tape, bullshit steps that they are getting through and them throwing out a PR blitz about it. The city of Arlington Heights did a economic impact report. Okay, fucking sweet. I don't fucking care. I don't put this all over your social medias. Nobody cares. I've seen the rendering of the stadium 1,000 times. I drove by Arlington Heights racetrack recently, and it looks still like it did 6 months ago. There's no construction equipment. There's nothing there. Don't fucking talk about it until it's literally under construction. At that point, I'll be happy to listen to Bears stadium updates all the time. I'll be incredible, seeing the shots of what do you call it? Where It starts off like with nothing there, and they build it up really quick, and like I don't know. Never mind.
Time lapse.
Yeah, a time lapse video. That's it. Thank you. Good Lord. Yeah, I would love to see a time lapse video of them like doing like a month's work on it. That'd be sweet. But I don't fucking care right now. So stop talking about it.
Amen.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our Bears talk. I think 50 minutes on a bye week. I think that's pretty good. I think we did a pretty good job. You're welcome, Bears fans. But for the rest of the people, we're going to get into one of my old favorite segments. We used to do this last year. The opening bell. So the opening bell, for those that weren't with us last year, is a segment where we think of it like the stock market. You take something, a team, a sport, anything in pop culture, whatever you want, treat it like a stock. Do you think it's slightly overrated? Sell it high. Are not enough people talking about it? Buy it low. Or kind of get creative with it. Whatever you want to do. This is the opening bell. And I'm going to kick it over to Drew. And I'm going to say, Drew, what are you buying?
You guys are kind of going to hate me for my buy and sell. And I'm sorry. Like, we're not getting deep into some of these aspects. But first off, if I am trying to get rich, I'm buying IDOT. And you guys know what IDOT is, Illinois Department of Transit.
Got a lot of bills from them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Because they're going to get about $32 billion in funding over the next 6 years to fix their roads, their bridges. And if I'm anything, I want to see where the money's going. I want to be a part of that. I want to see why I'm cursing in the car all the time at all these things. So I'm buying IDOT because they're about to get funded $32.5 billion over the next 6 years.
Is Kevin Warren negotiating that?
He might be, dude. This is absolutely crazy. I wanted to send you guys this breakdown that I just found of like where all of this is going.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So it's a buy, but like in the worst way.
Ugh.
So our tolls are going up to like $10 per, probably.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that our roads will all be fixed, right? Right? Isn't that what that means?
Apparently, square feet of state bridges to be improved built is about 8.4 miles. I didn't know there was 8.4 miles worth of bridges in Illinois. Or it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you run along the Mississippi, so maybe it makes sense.
I guess.
I don't know. Okay. IDOT it is. We're buying IDOT.
It's weird.
I'll tell you what. There have been some curveballs on this show. That might be like
I'm throwing it out there, guys.
You could have given me a billion guesses, and I never would have landed on IDOT. Cool. All right.
Change it up.
Drew, what are you selling?
All right, another one, another semi-governmental agency. I'm selling the FBI. I'm selling the FBI.
All right, Drew's gone.
I've lost it, guys.
Drew's gone full libertarian on us, and I love it.
Hold on, I'm selling the FBI because they just lost their best agent at the end of September.
All right, yeah.
All right, they lost Charles Tillman.
Okay, I like it.
Charles Tillman took a step away because of, personal beliefs, everything that's going on in the government, all of that stuff. But that's why I'm selling the FBI, because they lost their best agent in Charles Tillman, former Peanut Punch cornerback for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good tie-in too.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Peanut. Shout out Cash. Shout out FBI. Anyway. Jay, what are you buying?
I'm gonna buy some kind of a political party. I have to scrap everything and go nothing. No, I feel underwhelming with what I'm about to buy, but I'll stick to the script and what I had written down in my notes. I'm gonna buy soups. I'm gonna buy soups.
Yes.
I am gonna buy soups, and I really wrote out way too many notes on why I wanted to buy soups, but we're in October somehow. We've already gotten there. It's still warm out. You still have time to do your soup planning. One of my favorite things to do, and me and Margaret tend to do this a lot because soup season, the fall, a little crisp weather, the winter, you want to have a nice comfort food. We have a Rolodex of soup recipes that we'll kind of kick out. And so I'm stocking up on ingredients. I'm dusting off the soup recipes. If you want to, while it is still warm out, because it is a little unseasonably warm still, get ahead of the curve, right? Get ahead of the curve and get some soup ingredients. Get ready. Winter's coming. Stock up. I love soups. I love the fall. I love the winter. And soups, chilies, big reason for it. So I'll keep it in that lane. Random, but yeah.
No, I love that, because that is, we're almost to chili season. We're almost to soup season. So I think, soup kind of always plays, but chili season specifically right around the corner. So I love that. That's a great call. So I expect high things then from your sell. What are you selling?
Well, this is a personal vendetta for me. So I am selling Airbnbs after the last time, 2 weekends ago, me, my brother, my dad, fishing trip, awesome time, awesome weekend. We found an Airbnb, and I was responsible for booking the room and board and all of that. And we went up to Lake Geneva, and I was like, you know what, let's just do an Airbnb. We can each have our separate room. We don't have to cram into a hotel room. This Airbnb was absolutely ridiculous. A lot of the Airbnb fees have been ridiculous over time.
Oh yeah.
So I found a $300 right on the lake Airbnb, small lake. It's great, but it wasn't $300. And we all know this, this isn't new news, but the actual cost for one night was $606 because
Jesus.
We had a $220 cleaning fee. And then the service fees on top of that, it was $220. So along with the $220 cleaning fee, they also instructed us and also said if we did not comply with the instructions, we would be dinged another $75 to strip the sheets and put all of the dishes in the dishwasher. I was like, $200 cleaning fee with this is ridiculous. So I'm back. I feel like I'm back swinging hard into just go to a hotel room.
Yeah.
Do that. You know what you're going to get. There's more just reliability there. Also, this is fun. In this Airbnb, we were a little bit inebriated, came home a little late from a fishing, golfing day, and we were, Airbnb. So there's a closet or whatever. We opened up one of the doors, very large, closet door, 7 feet tall. And in it was a safe that was 7 feet tall. And on it was a postage stamp that said, do not under any circumstances try to enter this room. And I'm pretty sure it was some kind of a safe room or something like that. It was just weird. It gave us the heebie-jeebies. I didn't love it. I did not love the experience. So I'll wrap this up. I'm selling Airbnbs, the fees, the randomness of everything. Everyone's trying to make a quick buck and do the bare minimum. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. I personally have been out on Airbnbs for a while. I have found I've never gone to it. The pictures always look fine, but I've never gone to an Airbnb and been like, you know what? This is actually nicer than the pictures. This is pretty sweet. It always is oh, this is not quite what I was expecting. It's always kind of dingy and gross a little bit. And just I don't like it. I'm with you though. Give me a hotel. They come, they take care of your sheets. They do all that stuff. They might steal a little from you, but that's all right. Part of the experience.
You get points. You get points.
You get points.
You get points. You get the continental breakfast, which is always a big disappointment too, but it's there. Yeah. It's consistent and it's there. So,
but if you have kids, the waffle maker gonna make the whole day. If you can sell it right, makes the whole day.
Yeah. And also you got kids, hotels have pools, kids love pools. It's all, so
yeah,
I'm with you there. Airbnb. I'm out on Airbnbs as well. So I love that. All right. I'm going to stick a little bit closer to sports than you boys did. I'm just gonna buy playoff baseball because it's back. We're in full swing of playoff baseball, and I love playoff baseball. Baseball is like, I love baseball. We all love baseball, but I think we can all acknowledge that like regular season baseball is not the most thrilling thing to watch on TV. Playoff baseball, though, is just something else, right? You just every single pitch, every single at bat gets like much more, like there's just so much more pressure, and you can like feel it ramp up more as the game goes on. There's nothing like playoff baseball. It's such an intense, like panic-inducing thing, but it's also like thrilling. Like I remember, like obviously Cubs won the World Series. That was awesome. But like the year after the Cubs won the World Series, they played like a crazy series against the Nationals. And I just remember like just like being in like a stress ball. Like I was like in this little like ball of stress the whole time. And they won. It was awesome. So like I love playoff baseball. Cubs did lose today. So hopefully tomorrow there's a happy ending and we get to keep watching playoff baseball. But honestly, I'm going to be watching regardless because I love playoff baseball.
There's nothing better than baseball. Playoff baseball is the best.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's very true.
Yeah,
But maybe it's more of a nostalgic thing, but like the love that the three of us all share for baseball is tough to match, especially in its prime. So, yeah.
I'll also say like, obviously football is just like a better watch period. Like just it's like more exciting. So I think it's more like the difference between regular season baseball and playoff baseball is so much greater than the difference between like regular season football and postseason football. So it's just like, it's such a bigger, everything just feels more intense. So anyway, playoff baseball, go Cubs. And then for my sell, I'm going to keep in the Cubs/baseball theme. I texted about this earlier to you boys. My sell is Eddie Vedder and John Cusack. I am so fucking sick of these guys. And I'm just gonna go on my little soapbox here for a second. These two specifically, there's more, but these two specifically, all they do is they go to any Chicago baseball playoff game wearing all the jerseys and swag for that team. They're all over the TVs. They get as much airtime as they can. It's all about them. All they're doing is seeking attention. Meanwhile, they got their White Sox jerseys on, like when the White Sox make the playoffs, and then now they're in the Cubs game. They're in the owner's like box, singing the seventh inning stretch. Get the fuck out of here! Like we all know, you can't be both. You can't be both. It's impossible to be both. Being a fan of a team requires more passion than you could possibly build for two things, right? You can't be you can be a fan of something and not hate something. You could be a fan of something and kind of like something. You can't be a fan of two things. It's just, there's not enough passion in the human body to be a real fan of two things. And I hate these guys because they try and be like, oh yeah, I just like them both. I'm a big fan of both. It's like, get the fuck out of here. These guys, all they're doing is seeking attention, and they're getting it from me right now. But fuck them. Fuck them. I'm sick of it. Don't show them anymore. I don't want to see them anymore. That's it. Rant over.
I couldn't love that anymore, Nick. That was very well said.
I hate them.
They gotta stay relevant in some way, and just they're taking rent in your head.
Yeah, it's true.
Let them be old and let them go.
No, go root for the fucking I don't know, Mariners or something like that. I don't care. Just get out of here.
It's Cusack for me.
Yeah,
and I get the Vedder part too, but Cusack's not the guy.
I mean, I was about to say that I don't love gatekeeping sports, but I also do, because that's what I'm doing right now.
I was going to say, but don't we all?
Yeah, of course I do, and I'm a better fan than him, and I hate it, and it drives me crazy. But
and you have every right to say that. You have every right to say that.
That's goddamn right I do. So, okay, well, this is our opening bell segment. It gets a little weird, as you guys could hear, but I think that hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed going through our picks. But with that, Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you, and let's kind of go a different direction here.
No, we can get into some fantasy. That was fun. That was good. It was good to be back in the opening bell and see what we were buying. Get weird put our little tinfoil hats on for a little bit, but let's get back into some football relevance. Let's talk a little bit about betting and fantasy. Really quickly, though, we're going to talk to you about who our betting and fantasy is brought to us by, and that's going to be Chuck Southern Comforts Buffet, and that's on Cass, just off of 55 in Darien. Chuck's has got great food and drink specials for every day of the week, and especially Bears games. You can find a link to all of those and their menu in our description in our bios and socials. $3 PBRs, $5 Yuengling pints, having a Yuengling or two tonight. So get on down there for their Sunday specials. They've got a wide open layout for bar patrons, including slots, seated dinner guests, and even private event spaces. Chuck's has got everything you need for your next outing. So get on down there, tell them the BQ boys sent you, and maybe we'll even see you guys down there for a Bears game or two this year. So guys, getting into the Guillotine League, we've got 4 down. We got 13 to go. Getting a little risky here with some fab money out in the world, but buys hit this week, so that's a big thing, and that was a big influence on some of the things that I was doing. A lot of money getting spent, though. A lot of money getting spent, and I really don't want to jump into one specific person here. We already alluded previously to them in our conversations early, but because we have a different section for her. But I spent $500 on Kenneth Walker badly because Bijan Robinson is on a bye this week. Yeah. Just got some recent news that Trey Benson is now on the IR. Yep. So we're scrambling. We're scrambling, and we are on top of the block this week. So yeah, we got some troubles, but just some other highlights. Chuba Hubbard, Dunk survived, which I'm really glad about, because I said I liked this team a lot during the draft, and it would have been sad to see him go out in the top 4. I feel like CeeDee Lamb's a steal. Jay, I feel the steal of so far is your boy Rashee Rice coming back in just about a week after this week,
right? After
2 weeks, week 7.
Yeah, he was out 6 weeks. Yeah.
Jay, how do you feel? I know you have limited fab money, but how do you feel spending that much on him? And maybe you need to survive 2 weeks without him.
So I love Rashee Rice. Rashee.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yes, he's a decent human, I've heard. Decent human. We shan't go into that. But from a fantasy perspective, kind of a good player. So I'm out of fab money though. I'm broke. I have $0, but I love the team. Unfortunate part is I have a couple of buys this week, and I am, as Yahoo so lovingly says, on the border or whatever, OTB, whatever it is. It's OTB. Like I might get cut. So if I can survive this week, I feel decent. But like my bench players right now are Lamar Jackson, Drake London, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice. That's not so bad. Like I feel like if I have to just ride that lineup into the sunset, it can be okay. So I don't know. We'll see how the strategies go, but I'm out of money. So who knows what's going to happen? Like I'm going to be desperate if I get like another injury or two. So we'll see.
Nick, how you feeling over there? You sitting pretty?
No, the opposite. I thought I was sitting okay. I was, it's tough. We got DK Metcalf and Jaylen Warren both on bye this week. We only have 4 bench spots on our teams right now. That's how it goes on this league. So losing those 2, Jaylen Warren not so much, but DK Metcalf's been that was like my big free agent waiver spend so far. Just got news this afternoon that Ricky Pearsall is going to be out this week. So I'm throwing a lot of touchdown dependent players out there this week. And if Terry McLaurin doesn't play, which I still don't think, I'm not even sure where that stands right now. He was a non-participant today. So if Terry McLaurin doesn't play, I am going to be in a lot of trouble. because I'm already in a lot of trouble. And if he doesn't play, then I'm going to be I'm going to be free agent, like scooping, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Right now I'm considered safe, but that also factors in Jamar Chase getting 18 points, which we all know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to, I am in a much worse spot than I look. So I'm not feeling great about this week. If I can survive this week, I do think I'm going to be fine. Because I still have a lot of FOB money left, and I can spend and get some players. But I really should have been a little more active on the waivers this week, as it turns out.
It's starting to heat up. This is where it's going to get fun. This is going to be you got to be careful with the minutia of the details of your team and what's going on. I will say right now, there are 5 teams or 6 teams underneath 100 points projected. Jay and I are on there. Paul is on there. I'm projected lowest right now, but we'll see how it plays out. You got to get to that right now. Over the last 4 weeks, it's right around that 70-point number, 75-point number that you're trying to get to, and we'll see how it plays out. But then breaking down into next couple of sections into another fantasy, I'm going to kick it over to Jay. Take us through some other fantasy.
Yeah, let's go into the fantasy pick'em, guys. I don't know what I've been doing. It's just been really bad, like really bad. And I was gonna say hats off to you guys, but like, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but like none of us have been doing great. I've just been doing as bad as you could possibly do, like in this. So I don't know, but hey, we're 4 weeks in. Nick, you are leading the pack at 229.7, Drew 212.61, and then me like way back at 170.98. I have been picking beyond stinkers. I went with Team Giants last week, and another kiss of death. I picked CD the week before, and he got 0. I picked Neighbors, and he just blew out his ACL. I mean, it was fun to pick Jackson Dart, even though he doesn't. I don't think he believes that America landed on the moon. Did you see that, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Yeah.
See one of those?
No. I'm pretty sure that's fake. I'm pretty sure that was fake. We'll see. Time will
That's
tell.
okay, Jay. It was fun to pick Malik Neighbors in the last week that he could be viable or even used. It was fun to also pick Tyreek Hill in the
Oh God! Oh no!
So we both got it on that.
We cursed people with devastating injuries. That Tyreek Hill injury was off the chains bad. Off the chains bad. But I mean, Nick, you picked Genty, and he did exactly what we wanted him to do. Well, you wanted him to do. So great week from you, Nick. Great week. So let's get into it. Let's go into the week 5. Obviously, we are dealing with a couple of bye weeks here, but let me pop open the old pick'em. And for week 5, Nick, we're going to start with you. Go to Drew, and then I'll round us up, and we'll snake it back.
All right. Kind of alluded to this, not necessarily directly, but we talked about Trey Benson being out this week. So I'm going to be taking his replacement, a fellow by the name of Amari DiMercato, a guy who I actually picked up in our Dynasty League last year, dropped, then got back on my team, thank God, a few weeks ago. So, yeah, exactly. So Amari DiMercato, running back, Arizona Cardinals. Who they're playing against. They're playing the Titans, so I love the matchup too. And then he's gonna get a lot of touches, so I'll take that.
That's a great pick.
Great.
I literally just dropped him in the Guillotine League. Bummer.
Yep. Well, we're all gonna be fighting over those waivers.
Yep. Great pick. Drew, go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna pick a guy playing the Jets, hot hand running back, seemingly. I'm going to take Javonte Williams for Dallas.
Sweet. Let me type that in there. All right. I will take the old wraparound pick. I need points, guys. So I might be coming out with a star-studded lineup. So I'm going to take Josh Allen. I'm going to take Josh Allen against the Patriots as my QB because I just need a bunch of points. He's probably going to get hurt. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to follow that up with Jonathan Taylor. And I'm just going to come out with a 1-2 punch there. Doesn't need much explanation. I will say this, though. In an era of football where running back touches are distributed so equally, Jonathan Taylor is getting every touch in the backfield.
Yeah.
That is like 1980s shit. So hopefully
no timeshare there.
No.
Yeah, that is full ownership.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm tracking with you on the route of picking Colts this week. I'm gonna go first time picking a tight end, I believe. So yeah, I'm gonna take in my flex. I'm taking Tyler Warren. Give me Tyler Warren. He vultured a touchdown from Jonathan Taylor last week on the goal line. So we'll see.
Dig it.
All right. Well, this is definitely a first for this show. We're taking 3 straight Colts here, guys.
Oh no, you're gonna grab
doing
what
it,
I
Danny.
want. Damn it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing
Are you
Daniel
Danny
Jones.
Dimes?
I'm Danny
Bleed
Dimes.
blue, dude. Bleed
Danny-
blue.
Bleed blue. That's right. Do it for the shoe. Doing Daniel Jones. Sorry, Drew. Had to be done.
No, it did. Well, Nick, wrap it around.
Yes, correct. I have 2 picks here. I'm going to take also kind of in line with your picks, Jay. I'm going to take. I like the Bills this week, so I'm going to take James Cook as my running back, as my flex. Sorry, flex. So I have
Yeah,
one
wow.
already.
Cook is one of those guys where it's like, when's it going to stop? When is the magic going to stop? And it is not.
Let me tell you a funny story about James Cook. I could have kept him in my keeper league this year for about $26, but I elected to let him walk and keep Joe Burrow instead. And James Cook is putting up like running back 1 numbers and hasn't stopped. He's got like 12 straight games with a touchdown or 100 yards or both. Joe Burrow isn't going to play football again until December, if not next year. So really kicking myself over that one for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
now you can reap the benefits of James Cook. I was going to say, now you got him.
Yep.
Now you got him.
Transitions. Been looking for transitions. How do I get off this? Didn't think he was going to be picked. Okay, I am going to take my quarterback. I'm going to take Justin Fields. Playing Dallas at home, defense sucks.
Smart.
Let's roll. Maybe he won't get concussed this week.
I mean, it is the classic Justin Fields play. Terrible NFL quarterback, dynamite fantasy quarterback. So and against a terrible team.
I used Justin Fields in week 2, and I can tell you it was not dynamite. It was
I'm looking at the stats, and you're right. He put up 3.98 points for you that week.
Was that his concussion? Was that his
he did
concussion?
get concussed, but he got concussed like in the 3rd quarter, so that was not the reason. He was bad in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Well, I'm going to do a couple in a row here. If I can click on the right tab. There we go. Again, I need some juice here. I am going to take. Tyreek just went down with an explosive injury. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. So give me Jalen Waddle in my wide receiver spot. I don't love that pick, actually. I think that's actually, now that I say that and locked it in, I think it's a bad pick. So that sucks. But we're going with it. Give me Jalen Waddle and give me, oh boy, Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll go with another powerhouse.
Right.
That is quite a lineup you got there.
Yeah, that's pretty far. That's pretty stacked. So, I mean, if you screw this up, then it's a goodbye. All right. So I already had him picked as one of my top wide receivers. I think he's getting a huge target share, which is surprising to me. With Lad McConkey being there, but give me Quentin Johnson. He is. Please don't tell me I sniped that from you, Nick.
You sure did. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right back.
On the same wavelength today.
But yeah,
boy.
he's gotten a huge snap share and a huge target share this year, which is confusing to me. So just going to keep that trend going, and I'm going to try to keep extending this while Nick looks for his next wide receiver. But yeah, QJ, give me him.
No, I think that's a great pick. He has been shockingly not almost. His numbers are wide receiver 1 fantasy numbers.
Yeah.
He's been crazy this season. And the Jim Harbaugh effect, I guess. I am going to take somebody who I have not taken yet. No, I have not. I don't know who they're playing off the top of my head, but I saw him ranked pretty highly on some fantasy rankings. So I'm going to take, I'm going to be careful in this pronunciation, Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's my wide receiver. So JSN is my wide receiver.
Always safe to just go JSN.
Yeah. Good call. So still love my squad this week. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm. It's a great squad.
Good squad.
All right. Well, let's go to the dogs are hungry of the week. Man, I suck at this one too, but I'm not doing so hot. But I'm 1-3, Nick 3-1, Drew 2-2. But you know the drill. We're going to pick some dogs of the week. So Nick, we'll start with you. Drew will go to you next, and then I'll finish us off.
Okay. I have 2 that I really like. One, I'm not 100% sure about the health of a very important player. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to stay away from that one for me. I'll let you guys take that one if you want, but I'm going to take the Giants plus 1.5 at the Saints. Again, I don't think the Giants are a great team, but they, in my mind, are definitely a step at least above the Saints. I think the Saints are absolute dog shit. And I think the Giants are the disparity between the Giants and the Saints is good enough where the Giants should be able to go into New Orleans and win that game. Like, I would be surprised if they didn't. So I'll take the Giants plus 1.5 at New Orleans.
Yeah. That was probably one that stuck out to me of how the Saints can ever be favored in a game this year. So that's just, you roll with that no matter what. Take the points. You definitely take the money line on that for sure. Second confusing line of the week for me, even though they showed out at home in a Monday night slate, you get a turnaround to Sunday, and Carolina had a good game. I'm taking the Panthers. Give me they're plus 1.5 right now, just about even money on the money line against the Dolphins. I don't understand. You lose Tyreek Hill. Yes, Darren Waller had some catches, but I feel like if you put them anywhere else, well, obviously neutral stadium, since Carolina's at home, that would signify that you're getting 4.5 points. Yeah, I think Carolina's the better team here, so give me that.
Yep, agreed. I also don't think Miami's a great home field advantage, especially with the team being as bad as they are. Miami doesn't give a shit about the Dolphins right now.
And it's early too, so that heat's not going to be crazy, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the difference between Charlotte and Miami isn't like that crazy. Like Charlotte is like a pretty warm city relatively anyway too. So
yeah.
All right. Well, this is a weird one, but I'm going to take the Titans. Titans plus 7.5. And that's that. Not much analysis.
No, I get what you're saying. You lost 2 starting running backs. It looked really weird last Thursday in the meshing of Kyler with his wide receivers / tight ends. Like, I don't know if that's a good team in the West, but you get more than a touchdown in the NFL. And yeah, I know Tennessee's bad, but I was looking at that too. Big time, Jay.
All right, let's
Plus,
go to the overs of the week.
Plus 569, by the way, is where we are in that parlay. So we're getting so close. We're gonna win one of these. I promise you we will. So follow us.
Yeah, we got really, really close last week in the next section of overs of the week, and I fucked us of cursing Malik Neighbors with the ultimate ACL out for season. You guys had 2 excellent picks with the London game that Jay had in Pittsburgh and Minnesota, and then Nick had the absolute blast that over of the week. If you didn't put over money on that, like, I feel bad for you. If you bet the under, that was the worst bet you could have ever made. But boys, we're gonna jump back at this. I feel like we're so close. Like, we're all mixing our separate cauldrons of what's gonna work for an over that we're gonna get it this week. But I'm gonna kick it to Jay first for your over. What do you got this week?
Yeah, I didn't love a lot of the over lines. The one that stood out to me was Dolphins Panthers 45.5. So I'm rocking with that. I don't know. I just don't believe in the Dolphins defense. I don't believe in the Panthers defense. So give me that 45.5.
Can see that for sure.
I like that.
Yeah. Nick, what do you got?
So I'm going with a bigger number on the board. I'm taking the Patriots at Bills over 49. I think the Bills are obviously one of the best teams in the NFL. They had a weird game against the Saints where they kind of struggled for a little bit of that game. I don't think the Patriots defense is very good, and I think the Bills can put up points in them. But I also think that the Patriots aren't probably going to win this game, but I do think they can put up probably somewhere between 17 and 21 points, and I think the Bills can take care of the rest. So I like the over in the Bills Patriots game.
Yeah, East matchup. I think the night games for the Patriots are definitely trending towards more points, but I'm joining your run of night games. I'm going to take the Monday night game, Chiefs and Jacksonville. Give me the 46.5 there. I know the Chiefs in primetime have been brutal so far this year in scoring points. I think they found something last week against Baltimore, and Jacksonville rarely gets a night in a primetime spotlight. So I think Duval going to show up. So give me that over at 46.5 there.
Yep, love it. Who did you take again, Jay?
Dolphins Panthers 45.5.
All right, so we're over 6-1. We're at plus 615 on that parlay. So
okay,
all right,
jump on board, guys.
All right, let's rock that. Rock that through. We're right on the cusp, so bet them all. Bet what you can. Let's rock into some money line 3-man weave pick 'em 7 games. We are season total right now, all flirting right around 500. So Jay, I think, had a hell of a week because he was under by about 3 games. Did Jay go 6-1 last week?
He went 6-0-1 last week. Yep.
6-0-1. 6-0-1.
Right,
yeah, we all got the
tie.
ones because
we picked the Packers.
Fucking Packers. Yeah, so that was awesome, Jay.
Yeah,
got back on the Schneid. Off the Schneid, on the Schneid, whatever we're talking. But let's pick some games, fellas. Let's talk first second set of the London games, or I'm sorry, the international games. Since we had Dublin last week, we're talking London this week. Minnesota gets a back-to-back overseas. We're talking Minnesota versus Cleveland. Minnesota favored by 3.5. But Nick, who you like in this game?
You know, what I saw from the Vikings last week was just, it's exactly what I pictured when they started saying they're going to start Carson Wentz. I do not believe in Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is a pile of stinky poo. I like that the Browns are going to Dylan Gabriel. I think that he might provide a little bit of a spark. I don't know if he's good or not, but I know that he's not Joe Flacco, and that is a good thing right now. So I'm taking the Browns in this.
Jay, you feeling the same? You think it's a Joe Flacco, Quinshon Judd? I'm sorry, not Joe Flacco. My bad. Dylan Gabriel, Quinshon Judkins matchup this week.
Yeah, I want to go so badly with Cleveland because of everything you said, Nick.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's Minnesota's been there, in Europe this is their second week. So I don't know. New quarterback, rookie quarterback. I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah.
It seems like, yeah. What were you thinking, Nick?
I was just saying, like, the more I think about it, Brian Flores against the first starting quarterback, first start of all time, I'm not really loving the Browns pick, but I'm going to ride with it.
Hey, starting rookie quarterbacks this year are 1-0. So that 100% win rate. I'm gonna ride with you, Nick.
Yeah, bet on that all day.
I'm gonna ride. Yeah, exactly. It's a high percentage. I'm gonna ride with it. I'm gonna take Cleveland. Their defense is really good too. Very good.
Very good.
I think it's gonna be a messy ass game for a messy ass city. Whatever. I'm sorry, but I love the 8:30 starts. I'm done with the international series, though. I'm so done with that. I'm so yes, give me 8:30 starts where they start over here. Like, I can't see 45 different jerseys of guys that have retired for at least 25 plus years in the stadium and be like, oh yeah, these are real fans. No, I'm done with that. Yeah. Should have sold the NFL.
Yeah.
NFL games overseas instead of the FBI, but whatever. We'll move on. We're talking Denver at Philadelphia. Confusing line for me. That was something that I was thinking dogs of the week potentially, but Philadelphia only favored by a field goal plus the half plus the kicker. Jay, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I had that written down on the dogs as well. I'm going to take Denver. They're my darling. They're probably going to be my Arizona Cardinals from last year. I'm just going to lose a lot taking them, but I like them. I feel like Philadelphia is kind of, I don't know. We were talking about it in the last show. Like, it's boring. I have to root against them, and I love Denver. They're my darling, so give me Denver.
Yeah, I'm gonna go next. I think Philadelphia is on the brink of something of like bad loss streak coming. We're seeing the AJ Brown storyline of him complaining about everything. We've seen it before in a couple of past seasons where they just drop an inexcusable amount of games, but then go into the playoffs and dominate and get there. But I'm with you, Jay. I'm taking Denver this week. It just seems like this is a Philadelphia. We've been close to the losses. They're just gonna lose one, and they're not gonna go perfect. So, Denver.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this line as well. They're not quite West Coast, but Mountain to Eastern, it's a lot. And then I also just think the Broncos haven't been great this year, whereas the Eagles, again, they haven't been perfect, but they haven't lost this season. The Broncos defense is supposed to be really good, and they've been fine, but they haven't been quite the elite unit we were expecting them to be. I think, excuse me, I think I'm going to say Philadelphia. I went on my rant about how I'm sick of Philadelphia on Monday, and I think they're going to win despite me, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
wins to spite us are always what happen in the NFL,
Yeah,
especially when there's money somewhere in our direction. Third game on the slate, we've got Dallas at the Jets. I think this is a noon game as well, but Dallas, I'm going to start. Dallas shocked me with how much offense they put up last week against that good Green Bay defense, or what we thought was a good Green Bay defense. I think that was a lot of show, and they're not going to have a lot of go this game. I'm taking the Jets. So yeah, give me the Jets. And Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think this is a big letdown spot for the Cowboys. I think they had the Green Bay game circled, and I think they really kind of like use that as like their playoff, their Super Bowl game. Like they really expend a lot of energy on that game. Oh man, I can't. Justin Fields though, he just is like fine man, but he just loses football games. It's like all he does. I'm gonna roll with the Jets. I think they're gonna win a game. I don't think the Jets are. No, they're pretty bad. I think the Jets are capable of winning football games, so I'm gonna take the Jets in this game. Man, I'm going 0-3 to start. I can already feel it. But anyway, go ahead, Jay.
What do you got? Yeah.
I don't know how we're all going with the Jets, but I'm going to ride. I know. For all of the reasons you guys laid out, I'm with you guys. So
no,
that's not good.
That's a consensus loss. Okay.
Yeah, well,
it happens. It happens.
None of us lost any ground on that one, so that's good.
Yeah. All right. This is an interesting one, guys. Here,
Yeah.
2 1-3 teams, and yes, Lamar is doubtful. It looks just tragic in Baltimore right now, and that's obviously sad for me because I picked them to be the Super Bowl champs this year. But Jay, talk to me a little bit about who you got in Houston at Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Baltimore as a home dog is wild. It's hard to put your pesos on Cooper Rush, though, in that team. So I'm going to take Houston. I like what CJ Stroud has showed, especially in the second half of last game, too. I know that he's been having a tough year, tough offensive line, but I think Houston kind of runs away with this one.
Wow, runs away with it. Okay. Nick, what do you feel?
I think that this is about as low a point as you can get if you're if you're a Ravens fan, right? You lose you're 1-3, you're home dogs to a struggling Houston Texans team. But I am going to take the Ravens, and I'm going to take the Ravens because I have Jay. You said you liked where CJ Stroud was headed. I haven't seen a lot that I like from CJ Stroud. That offense outside of Nico Collins has completely struggled. They've been miserable to watch. Their defense has been good, but I don't know. Like the Ravens, in my mind, their defense has been awful. But I've seen this movie before where the Ravens figure stuff out and they end up putting together an elite defense. I don't know if it's going to come this week or not, but I do know a struggling Houston offense is right what the doctor ordered. Can the Cooper Rush lead this Ravens offense, which doesn't really have a ton of like outside weapons? I don't know, but I do remember seeing him being surprised by how effective he was in Dallas when he was playing. So I'm taking the Ravens, and I really do think they can pull it out.
I'm just picking the Ravens because they gotta win.
Right.
If they're gonna get to the place that I had them in. I think they have a semi-softer-ish schedule past this, but I just can't see Houston going into anywhere and winning a game as away favorites. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, really quick too, Cooper Rush 9-5 winning percentage career. So
yeah. I think that a lot of those were against the poo NFC East, but hey, that's okay. We'll take it where we got it. All right. Another close matchup. We've got Tampa Bay visiting Seattle. going a East Coast to West Coast. Jay, talk to me a little bit about who you got here.
Oh man, I love the line for Tampa Bay. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull out the win, but I think I'm going to take the fan angle and just take Tampa Bay here. I feel like this is a game that, you're in Seattle, the 12th man. I don't think that rattles Baker as much as it would other quarterbacks. So I like the offense. I like the defense of Tampa Bay. And it's just, maybe it's a bet against, oh God, why am I blanking?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. So, when in doubt, bet against Sam Darnold. Didn't work out for me last year, but I'm going to stick with what I used to do and hope that works. So Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You think it's same, Nick?
Yeah, this is definitely your break glass in case of Sam Darnold starting game situation. Me, backs against the wall, don't know what to do here because I like Tampa Bay, don't like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is So we're gonna go with the Bucs in this one as well.
Okay. I just have to. I don't want to pick Sam Darnold. I love Baker. They are just so injured, and maybe no Bucky this week.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick him, but it's just pick the healthier team, and it's a home team, higher favorite. So give me Seattle.
I was surprised to see the line 3.5. I thought that would be like a 2.5 spot,
correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is a little telling.
Yeah.
I do like points in this game, though. This was a game I looked at as well for my over. So I did. This was one that I'd written down. I like this.
Agreed.
Points.
I did too.
All right, 2 left. It has been deemed that Jaden Daniels will play this weekend. So we're going to LA, and we're talking a little LA versus Washington. Nick, talk to me who you got here.
Yeah. I mean, this would have been a lot easier pick if Jaden Daniels wasn't playing, but then we probably wouldn't be picking because the line would probably actually be a closer line. So I like the Chargers. Basically, the way I see it, the Chargers, there's 2 things can happen. The Chargers either were the real Chargers in the first 3 weeks, slight bump in the road, they're going to get back to it after losing a game, or they were complete frauds, and this is going to just kind of prove that. I tend to believe in the Chargers. I love Jim Harbaugh. I love Justin Herbert. I have half the Chargers starters on my dynasty team. I love the Chargers. So I'm taking the Chargers here.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that's the way it should play out, and that was probably a fluke win by the Giants playing on way more adrenaline all week, and playing for quarterback, everything, whatever. It just lined up more for them. I don't know. I kind of like Washington a lot more with obviously Jaden Daniels at the helm, but I just like them more as a team to play close games and win them. Confusing line at 47.5 on the over for me. Thought it might have been closer to 45 because I think they have 2 good defenses. But albeit I'm taking the Commanders. And Jay, round us out. What do you got there?
Yeah, I can't take the Commanders. So you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at. I see the angle of having the Jaden Daniels like boost, but I think that was such a letdown loss. And the Chargers coming back home, I think they're going to get a very good game plan we could practice in with Harbaugh at the helm. So I feel like this is, for me, a very attractive -2.5 as well. So I'm going to take the Chargers.
Also want to point out that if Jaden Daniels is limited in any capacity, it drastically changes his game.
Oh,
right.
Big
like
time.
That's like his game is the legs and the arm. If we're only talking about Jaden Daniels like dropping back and throwing, I'm gonna take the Chargers at like -4.5, 5.5, like possibly up to a touchdown.
Don't you dare talk bad about Marcus Mariota. He's 2-0 this season. Okay.
He is not. He is 1-1 this year.
I'm sorry, he's 1-1.
Yeah, it's close.
What am I talking about?
Close.
What am I- Yep, I'm way off on that. Close, but no cigar. I just wanted to get the don't talk bad about Marcus Mariota.
This
in
one
there.
quarterback.
That's my quarterback. All right, last game we got here. I'm gonna start this one off. I picked it as over of the week. I don't know why, but I do like Jacksonville here. Kansas City is seemingly finding their stride, but I feel like they're in for sort of an up and down season. It's going to be kind of topsy-turvy in there, and no other explanation other than that for picking Jacksonville here for me. So I'm going to kick it over to Jay. What do you got?
All right. Well, I'm glad you said that, Drew, because I actually had Jags plus 3.5, like top of my board for dogs of the week, but I was too embarrassed to actually select it in that segment. But like at home with the Jags, I don't know. I don't believe in this Kansas City offense. Their defense is a step down from where it's been. I also think though that the Jags defense is like under the radar, very good. I might be wrong on that. This is a very telling game. So, if I'm wrong, we're going to know it right away in this game. I am taking the Jags as well, but I think plus 3.5 is an attractive play. For the weekend.
Yeah.
I really do. At home, I think the Jags team is underrated. I think Trevor Lawrence kind of gets shit on, and probably rightfully so. But I see all flaps down on Jags plus 3.5. So I'm going to just kind of take that kind of tailwind in, and I think that there's a path for them to win the game. So I'm going to take the Jags.
Nick, you making that a consensus?
I hate to. I really do, but I am. I can't believe all three of us are picking against the Chiefs, and again, the Chiefs are favored. We're going to look very foolish on Monday when we talk. But I don't know. Like, one, I think Jacksonville. I've been taking Jacksonville all year, and I think they're kind of under the radar as a 3-1 team. Like they're 3-1, right? That's they're a good team.
Yeah.
They went to San Francisco and like won a game against a somewhat healthy for the 49ers. Quarterback was healthy anyway, and the receivers all got hurt, but they were healthy at the beginning of the game. They went to San Francisco and won a game that I didn't think a lot of people gave them credit that they could do. I like this Jacksonville team. I picked them to win the AFC South. I think it's going to be a dogfight between them and Indianapolis all season. I like Jacksonville. I think they're going to win this game. I don't know. This might just be like a really dumb thing that I'm thinking, but I think that like if this game, I guess it is a night game, but like I don't know, like just Mahomes in Jacksonville just like doesn't seem like a big game, even though this is like a standalone primetime game. It just doesn't feel like, it's not like, not that Kansas City is a glamorous place, but I don't know. I just don't see him like getting super up for this game for whatever reason. I don't know. That's stupid, but I like it, and I'm taking the Jaguars.
Dude, and two, if you didn't see it, I loved the fire that Liam Cohen had going against or at the end of his game in San Francisco.
Saleh.
Against Saleh. Yeah. Granted, Liam Cohen, you'd get your ass stomped. Don't pick that fight. Don't pick that fight. Like I mean,
he did the right thing. He said something, and then got about 15 feet away when there was about 5 people in between him. Then he started yelling at him, which is exactly the right.
Yeah,
get your point across. Look kind of like tough, but not actually have to face any repercussions. That's
Brad Boy with Rich Dad versus Bouncer.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know who my father is?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
exactly.
Perfect. Well said.
That finishes 3 Men Weave, but Nick, I got to kick it back to you because you came up with one of the best segments I feel like this week of reaching out to the fans of the BQ pod and getting some feedback what they want to hear this week. So go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So for this next segment, it's a new segment. Never done it before, but I put out a call to the BQ fans last night, and I was not sure how it was going to be received, but honestly, I was kind of overwhelmed with the amount of responses. So anyone that responded, it's much appreciated. Thank you for interacting. I really do. Like it really is appreciated. Like love to see stuff like that. So if your question doesn't get read, feel free to keep interacting. We will get you on at some point. But I did take more than 5 questions. So I did on the Instagram post say the top 5 questions will get in there. So yeah, feel free, keep interacting with us. Like if you say something to us that was like funny or whatever, like there's a good chance it's coming on the pod. Like that's just the way it goes. We especially on bye weeks, we are running out of things to say. So thank you so much for interacting. I love it. Keep it up. We love hearing from you guys. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, first, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Second, I put out an Instagram story yesterday saying basically just like an ask us anything, like a mailbag situation where just kind of put the bat signal up for the BQ fans to throw us some questions. We can kind of talk about it amongst ourselves. These are mainly Bears related, which I get because we are a Bears podcast. But in the future, if we do this again, feel free to just anything goes. I think it'd be fun to kind of like mix it up a little bit more too. So I'm just going to kind of dive into I got 7 questions here. I want to go through them and kind of, go around the horn a little bit. We don't spend a ton of time on it, but I thought some of these questions, we're going to have some fun with. So first, Eric came to us and said, who should the Bears start at left tackle this week? And I feel like we tackled that a little bit earlier in the show, but for me personally, I would love to see the Bears throw Darnell Wright at left tackle if he's healthy, and then move either Theo Benedict or best case scenario for me would be Ozzie Trapillo at right tackle. That's what I want to see. I know Jay, we talked about this earlier, but like, who do you want to see at left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know I'm with you, Nick. If Darnell's healthy and has enough time and feels comfortable, then I want to see Darnell at left and Ozzie Trapillo at right, and that's just how it goes for the foreseeable future. I don't know if that's going to be the case. So I in week 6 against the Commanders, I kind of want to see Theo Benedict and just have an audition. Can you do it? Can you hang? I don't know. Give me the Canadian Eagle. What's his nickname? Yeah. Give me the Canadian Eagle at left tackle for week 6. See what you got. I have more confidence in Wright in the long term, but I would also like to see if he can actually hang in Benedict at left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got a few weeks here post the bye of you're not looking at some incredible rushing teams. Yes, Washington has some players up there, but then you got the Saints and then you got Baltimore, who don't look like they have anybody, and Ngakoue just got out for season. So I'm all about the additions here. I want to see the younger guys. I want to see Trapillo. I want to see Benedict to see if they can figure it out. I'm fine with marching Benedict out there right now because he's the guy that they kind of slated being there. But it's I wouldn't say it's a good problem to have when they have depth and trying out new guys at different positions. But I want to see some steady play there, and I think you start with what you've tried to have with Benedict. So give me Theo, give me the Canadian Eagle, give me that banana hammock.
Yeah, banana hammock, man.
Gongs.
All right. This next question came to us from our guy Duncan, who watched the show live with us a couple times and chats with us. So this question is: are you surprised Benedict got to start over Trapillo at the right tackle position with Darnell Wright being injured last week? Drew, did that surprise you?
I don't think it surprised me, but it's definitely like surprising that we're there at this point of the season to where like we're trying this at our tackles position. Like you'd think we'd have more steady play there, but more than that, like I want to just see a steady core of the offensive line of guys where we don't have to like keep this carousel of seeing what works. So I think that's what they're trying to have in the offensive line. And I want to get there. But right now, with the Bears and their offensive line and the offensive struggles that we've just had over the past few seasons, you just can't have Caleb getting this much pressure. So I whoever keeps starting, it won't surprise me because it's probably the best selection that these coaches come up with. It's just you gotta see some steady starters out there. I need a core that is starting almost every game this season, so Caleb knows who his protection is, where his pressure is going to be from, so he can face that head on.
Yeah, right on. Jay?
Yeah, I mean, so great question. First of all, Duncan, I think that was a great question asked. Also, Eric, great question. Everyone, great question. But complicated answer. Yeah, I was surprised. I don't understand why you're drafting Trapillo, without the expectation of him being able to slot into a left tackle position, with Darnell Wright kind of cemented in the right tackle position. So, but that was the answer I would have had right after the draft, right? Yeah. Obviously, I don't think he was ready for it. I do have trust in the offense the coaching, I should say, not the offense, but the coaching to be able to kind of call that out. And again, like Theo Benedict was an undrafted rookie last year. That's an insane
out of Canada. He didn't even play
he wasn't like a collegiate athlete in the United States. And his assignment was, hey, Max Crosby might be, over your outside shoulder. That's nuts. Yeah. That is a really ridiculous assignment. So I mean, like when you boil it down, I think the surprising thing is that there wasn't anyone better to be able to plug that hole, right? And to be the left tackle of the Chicago Bears in that position. So it's a bad answer, but like I don't even know how to answer it because it's just a conundrum. That shouldn't have been the options.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. And then for me, I was not necessarily surprised that he got the start just because we've been talking about like Braxton Jones and whether he should get benched or not for a few weeks now. And at that point, I realized that Benedict is actually the backup tackle. And also Ozzy Trapillo has not been active in every game this season, whereas Theo Benedict has. So I'm not surprised in that aspect. But when I did find out that Ozzy Trapillo was not going to be active in games and that Theo Benedict was ahead of him in the depth chart, which I feel like is more kind of like the spirit of the question itself. Yes, very surprised. I echo Jay's thoughts. I don't love that you take a second round tackle and you end up throwing this undrafted Canadian guy above him. But I mean, you could look at it two ways. You can look at it, why are they doing this? But also like maybe they're just really developing Theo Benedict really well. And maybe Ozzy will get there too. Yeah. Or maybe Ozzy wasn't worth the second grade draft pick that they used on him. I'm not sure. I'm not at practice, but I was very surprised when I found out that Theo was like above Ozzy in the depth chart for sure. That was very surprising to me.
One thing we can at least definitively say is the offensive line improved when Braxton was out and 100%. Benedict and Trapillo were in. So at least we have that to build.
It was 100%. Like it was night and day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Next question comes from a good friend of ours, Mark. So he's asking, why is Monangai not getting more carries? Dude runs hard and Swift isn't a workhorse. And this is a good point, Mark, because Swift is not a workhorse. I think we all have beaten that to death. He is 100% not. He's being asked to do that role. He's not. Why isn't Monangai getting more carries? I have to look at the tape more, but my guess would just be a blocking issue. I'm not 100% sure. I assume it's just he can't rely on him to pass rushes, to cut the pass block. Typically that's the case when you have rookies, especially like unheralded rookies out of like secondary, like not major, college programs that don't really run the pro style offenses like a lot of them do. So that would be my guess. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I have to plug in and watch the tape a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any other theories about that, but I would like to see him get some more carries personally.
Yeah, I also think too the other thing that we didn't really say at the beginning when we were talking about running backs is you saw the energy that Eric Bieniemy brings to that running back room. He might have a little bit of knowledge behind that of why Monangai might not be a guy here or that deserves more carries. I mean, 17 carries, 62 yards. He's averaging just a little bit more per carry than DeAndre Swift, but that doesn't justify a huge usage in my mind, or to scheme for this guy. And he's also was he 6th round draft pick? Seventh round draft pick. I mean, those guys don't get slotted in there right away to say like, oh yeah, okay, you're RB2, you're gonna get 10 carries per game. So like, I know we talked this to death of like we need to find a solution towards running back help, but I don't know if he's that guy to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much to add. I think, Nick, what you said is exactly what I was going to say, to be honest with you. I think it's a blocking issue, and I think it's just something that you need to pick up a little bit more. Probably not doing the same kind of blocking scheme in the NFL that you were doing at Rutgers. Right. Hard runner, though. I agree with you, Nick. I'd like to see him get more carries, but I think those carries are more, hey, he's might not be your third down back, right, to pick up blitzes and in pass protection. So that's the only thing I have. I do like his running energy, though. It's hard. It's hard-nosed running. I like that. I think that's unique from Swift, but maybe that'll come along. Maybe it won't. But I'll end there.
Yeah. All right. This next question I think is a fun one. I'm excited to talk about this one a little bit. This came from a different Mark, not the same Mark, separate Mark. You guys, a lot of Marks in your guys' group. So, all right. Question, can you conceive of a single plausible explanation for the Bears' decision to select Loveland over Tyler Warren?
Oh,
Jay, let me start with you, buddy.
Man, okay. Well, this was a big point of contention in a group chat that we had.
Yeah.
I mean, the early returns don't look great in that.
No.
Man. Sorry. I don't love it. I don't love the Loveland pick at 10, but I also don't love a tight end pick in the first round. I got to say that. So I will start the conversation there. It really sucks though. And again, I get the counterpoint, the counterpoint, whatever you want to call it. It's only been a quarter of a season. Tyler Warren's, one of the only offensive weapons that the offense can be run through Tyler Warren. It does not have to be run through Loveland, and it obviously is not. So I don't love taking the point to Warren versus Loveland. I'm going to kind of take the point to why are we taking a tight end there? I just a top 10 pick, especially if Loveland's like a project pick. I just don't see that being a return in a top 10 pick because you have the contract obligations. You have the rookie guaranteed 4 years that you don't have to have there. You're drafting a guy. If you're not going to utilize him right away, then what the hell are you doing? And that's kind of where I fall in that argument. It sucks to see Tyler Warren. Like Tyler Warren looks great.
Yeah,
he does. And that hurts. I think Loveland and Tyler Warren in the long run are going to be very similar. I think I have a lot of hope for Loveland in the next 2 to 3 years. Warren's showing up now, and that sucks. So it's hard to argue for Loveland over Warren. Time will tell, right? Yeah. But what we were seeing on the group on the text thread too is like, well, Ben Johnson probably wanted this guy. We were even talking about that. Ben Johnson probably wanted this guy in Loveland too, and I will trust the process there. It's hard to see a top 10 pick not getting immediate contribution to a team. And that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% right. Drew?
Yeah. The only thing I'm really gonna go to against Tyler Warren is the fit of the system and what we already had here in Chicago. You have a similar comp tight end. Maybe Tyler Warren's much better than him in Cole Kmet, of a blocker, a bigger guy, runs a limited route tree, and you see what he's got in Indianapolis, and that's a complete fit right now. Daniel Jones needed an asset that he could throw to and have a reliable tight end, a possession tight end right there. And he's got 27 targets. Colson Loveland has 6 so far this year. So it's like, yeah, they're scheming towards this tight end because they drafted him so high, but it also fits their scheme towards that. It doesn't necessarily, it didn't mean that Tyler Warren was going to fit the scheme for the Chicago Bears and every asset that they had. So I think I can understand. We all, in the preseason when it was picked, we were all confused about what it was. And I totally understand Jay's point of like, you need to see that redeeming value right away for a top 10 pick, and a tight end there just doesn't feel like it has any redeeming value, and it's showing very early. But the kid's 2 years younger than Tyler Warren. He's got a route tree from what you saw at Michigan that is a little bit more expansive, and it kind of fits the mold of what Ben Johnson has seen before in his tight ends. So it's understandable where you would pick that and you want that to develop. We just haven't seen any redeeming value towards that right now. Yes, he got hurt a little bit. And I think you'll see from the bye week that being developed a little bit more. So there's upside potential. Definitely upside potential, and it hurts right now seeing Tyler Warren produce so much in various different facets. But I don't think you can just look at it at 4 weeks of a season and say, okay, that's an absolute bust. That's an absolute loss. So I think we'll continue to develop Colston, and he will have a role in this team when he gets more opportunity out there. So. Yeah.
I agree with you, Drew, and I'm gonna kind of add to it a little bit. Just kind of like, okay, you look at Tyler Warren and you look at Colson Loveland, you look at their stats. Obviously, Tyler Warren is the better tight end of the two right now, just by every statistical metric you could possibly fathom. Maybe not average yards per reception, because I think Colson Loveland has like 16 yards per reception. He's got like 2 for like 35 yards.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
besides that, one thing I'll say about Colson Loveland is more of your, he's more of like your, what was his name? He played for the Saints. He was on the Bears for a couple years.
Jimmy Graham.
He's got like a Jimmy Graham type tight end, right? Where he's just like, he's a red zone target, stretch tight end. He's a jump ball guy. He's got like the wide receiver route tree, like Drew was saying. Tyler Warren, he's a very good version. Like he's a very good version of like I don't want to say Cole Kmet, because he's like a very good version of Cole Kmet, where he's like a possession receiver, not as much of a blocker, or maybe a better blocker than Colson Loveland, but he's definitely there as his pass catcher. But also, one thing I want to say is that you look at the Bears offense, you look at the Colts offense, like the Colts don't really have a ton of pass game weapons, right?
Yeah.
There's not as many mouths to feed in Indianapolis as there is in Chicago in the passing game. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor owns that offense. It's his offense. But when they pass the ball, there's no, Pittman, does he really, nothing, whatever, Alec Pierce, whatever, they're fine. The guy who fumbled the game away, the Colts receiving core is nothing really special. So when they do throw the ball, having a reliable tight end is something that they look for, number one. Like the Bears, we have Roma Dunze, who's emerged as their number one receiver. We have DJ Moore, who's a seasoned veteran stud receiver. Not that he's getting a ton of playing time, but you got your Luther Burdens out there. You do have Cole Kmet on the other side. So there's a lot of mouths to feed on the Bears offense. So even when Loveland was playing before he got hurt, you had to know that there was not going to Tyler Warren's going to have better stats than Colson Loveland this year. Like, that's just the way it is, just because of the way the Colts play football and the way the Bears play football. There's going to be the better thing. If it was reversed, Colson Loveland would be having a monster year for the Colts, and Tyler Warren would be having probably a better year so far than Colson Loveland, to be honest. Yeah. But he still wouldn't be. I think Colson Loveland would still have better numbers if they were on the opposite teams, just because, again, the offense flows through Jonathan Taylor, pass game flows through the tight end position at Indianapolis. So I think I think it's hard to look at the two and compare them, since they were taken so close together, and a lot of people had Tyler Warren as the number one tight end in the draft. Mm-hmm. And we didn't take him when he was available, but I do think that, I think Colson Loveland will come around. I do think that having that red zone target will be nice once we get to a position where our offense is like putting up points regularly, and Caleb, can juggle between all the players he has to throw to. So
can I jump in and just like put a bow on some things on this question really quick?
Of course.
So, I mean, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly, right? Like, we can be statistics agnostic here. Like, Warren's going to have better stats this year. It doesn't mean he's a better tight end. That is not the measure of success for who is drafting who. I mean, Warren is going to have the better stats at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Warren was, I think, when we were doing our mock drafts, like, Loveland wasn't even in the conversation of a top 10 pick. That said, the argument for Loveland has been, hey, he's a raw guy. It's going to just give it some time. And that's where the argument kind of falters, in my opinion, because that's where you take like if you're a raw talent on the defensive edge or at quarterback or other positions that are highly valuable, then you can take that in the mid to deep first round, right? You can't do that with a tight end. That is a major falter of draft capital. Right? Because you're now saying, hey, don't judge him for a year. Who doesn't get judged in their first year as a top 10 pick for any other position in the NFL?
Yeah.
And that's where I would play devil's advocate a lot, is I think it can be both. It can be, hey, Loveland's going to be good in this league, but did the draft capital, justify the pick? And that's ultimately what's to be determined. But I'm not as optimistic that the draft capital is going to say that Loveland's going to be this, once in a lifetime tight end, because that's where you're kind of drafting him at. And I'm not trying to rain on the parade of Loveland here, because I think he's going to be a fantastic player. It is hard for me to justify a top 10 pick in the NFL with the cap structure, with the contract, with all of that, to say, listen, let's give this guy a year because he might be raw right now and he's younger. You don't draft in the top 10 for that. You draft sure things there. That's how you win or lose dynasties and franchises. So that's my big like sticking point with the Loveland pick. And again, it's not Loveland or Warren. It's, why are we drafting him in the top 10 if he's raw?
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. So, I don't know, Mark, I guess consensus here, probably not. We probably can't think of a single reason that I think Tyler Warren probably would have been a good pick there for the Bears, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. But
sorry,
boys, no, you're good.
Kind of took that
no, you're good.
Nth degree.
You're good, because I'm about to lighten the mood a little bit with this next question, because this question made me laugh. So this is a very specific question, Drew. I think it's directed to you. You're technically the commissioner of the Guillotine League. So this question is directed to you. I'll let you take first crack at it. Actually, only crack. I'm not going to have an answer on this. So question: can you transfer my fob money back? I made a mistake. This is from listener Jen. So we kind of skipped over this when we were talking about our Guillotine League. If you're in our Guillotine League, you're probably looking at the results this morning and saying to yourself, who's spending $400 on Malik Washington and $400 on Stephon Diggs? It's our buddy Jen here. So Drew, I'm going to let you just answer the question point blank. Can we give her fob money back because there was a mistake was made?
Third time I'm doing this tonight. No. No, I appreciate Jen for all she's been doing and trying hard, and I think a little bit of that influence might have gone from her husband Jeff. So you can blame Jeff for any of these these pitfalls that you go through. He has done you wrong once again, but hey, that's the Guillotine League. We appreciate you though, Jen.
Yeah, shout out to Jen. Thanks for playing the Guillotine League. Thanks for sending a question in. And the good news is right now you're not on the chopping block. Drew is, so that's good to know as well.
Yep.
So yeah, just you got limited budget left for the year. Stretch it out, make it work. But yeah, great question. Thanks for sending it in. I appreciate it. And then Jay, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No.
But, all right.
No.
All right. This is the last question, and I left it last. I thought it would be a fun little. Just again, we don't have to go super into detail, but we can if you want to. This is a good question though. What is the greatest Bears moment in your life? This comes from Tyler. So I'm going to kick it around the horn, and we're just going to talk best Bears moment in your life. Yeah, man, that's it. So, Drew, I think I started with Drew. Yeah, let's go, Drew. What's your best Bears moment of your life?
Yeah, I'm sorry, boys. Gotta start this one off. We know kind of where it's going. And shout out Tyler, Browns fan, been on this show before. He's in a similar doldrum with fandom, being a Cleveland Browns fan, but. Gotta say the highest moment, best moment definitely was obviously Devin Hester's return in the Super Bowl. How do you go without that? Because it was the highest moment of our lives as a Bears fan, thinking that we could actually win a Super Bowl in our lifetime.
Knowing we were going to win the Super Bowl. Moment, I was 100% sure the Bears were going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah,
you have, but in looking back, you should have had some realization that Rex Grossman was your quarterback, and you were going against the Peyton Manning. So, I mean, ultimately, it was a little fake facade, but at that moment, the Bears were winning a Super Bowl and were going to win the Super Bowl, like you said, Nick. So, how could you not go without that, saying that's the highest moment so far as a Bears fan I've had.
Such an electric way too. It's not like they drove down in a 12-play drive and scored a touchdown, which would have been cool, right? But I mean, Devin Hester was so electric, and opening kickoff, and just
it's on many replays of great NFL plays that you see that, and you're it takes you back to where you're holy crap. Yeah. The Bears are still going to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, that happened in 2006, unfortunately. And that's our greatest moment. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that's probably the consensus one. Jay, I'm not sure if anything else came to your mind just as a backup.
Yeah. I mean, Monday Night Football, Bears, Cardinals.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go. Another Devin Hester moment, right? The punt return. That was amazing. Nick, we talked about the last show, the show before. Watching that at Marquette was awesome, and that it really was. So I actually had that as my number one.
Okay, perfect.
The energy of that whole thing, was just. I mean, there was no point of winning that game, and it kind of built on this. And it wasn't early in the season, midway early through the season. I don't know, week 6 or something.
I can tell you exactly when it was.
What was it?
Because it was around this time of year. It was the second week in October.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I had just gone home that weekend for my birthday. My birthday is October 9th. I had just gone home for my birthday. Came back to Marquette on Sunday. We watched the game on Monday night. I was wearing my brand new Rex Grossman jersey that I got for my birthday in the first half. And I'm a very superstitious guy, so I don't like to get new gear for my teams during the season. It's a very weird thing. So I wore the jersey first half. It was so bad. I'm like, all right, taking it off. Going back to reliable. That kind of just cemented it for me too. But yeah, so it was this time of year. It was week 5, week 6, something like that.
Yeah.
Get out the Rashawn Salam jersey.
Oh God. I also want to just do a quick thing. I'd love to do a reverse Ask Me Anything and just ask Tyler what his favorite Browns moment is, because that's got to be kind of few and far between.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reach out to him and get that, Drew. If you can get on that, that'd be. I would love to come back to the group with that next week. And then I'm going to talk about my favorite Bears moment, because I had a feeling I was going to kick it to you guys first, and I had a feeling that the Super Bowl was going to be off the board, and so I came up with a backup as well. And it's a little more sentimental, but it still is a very cool Bears moment. So when I was, I don't know what year it was, like 2002, 2003, something like that. I was either in 8th grade or high school. I don't remember. Me and my dad went to a Bears game, and it was very, I went to probably 4 or 5 Bears games with my dad when I was a kid, but it was very cool because it was last game of the season. No, second to last game of the season. Bears were dog shit, but they had this young rookie quarterback who was getting his second start in the NFL. It was Rex Grossman. And I went to this game. Me and my dad, we had 400 level seats at Soldier Field. They were fucking terrible, but it was still cool. Played against the Minnesota Vikings, and this is the game where a young, unknown cornerback named Charles Tillman pulled the ball out of Randy Moss's hands in the end zone to win the game. I was at that game, and it was awesome. The crowd was going nuts. Bears had nothing to play for, but it was still just like a very cool environment. And I'll never forget, we were walking out of the stadium, and this very, very drunk Vikings fan was standing right by the entrance to the or the exit to the pavilion, whatever you call it, where the bar, where the restaurants and the beers and stuff are. He's standing right by the tunnel to go back there, and he's yelling up to the section and being like, "You guys, who cares? You guys win this game. We're going to the playoffs. It doesn't matter." And he's drunk and he's not wearing a shirt, and some dude, we had snow under our seats, and people just started raining snowballs on this guy, and this dude got hit right in the face 7 times. It was awesome. And then the Vikings didn't make the playoffs, which is even better. So that was it for me. That was a great moment. I love that.
Doom on you. Yeah. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Did miss one. We'll come back to it though after the break, or after the bye. Question 3 from Rocky.
Oh, I am sorry, Rocky.
No,
I did miss one.
I want to talk about that more in depth next week.
Yes, we'll talk about that after the bye. Yeah, we have nothing to review next week, so we'll have plenty of time to do that. Maybe I'll throw out another mailbag too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's going to do it for most of the show. We're going to go around really quick, going a little long here, but I want to get you guys closing thoughts. So yeah, let's Drew, why don't we kick it to you? What are your closing thoughts this week?
Yeah, closing thoughts. Simple, basic. This week, I'm just saying a quick happy birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, my father, Keith Bailey. His birthday today, big 7'3". Happy birthday, Dad. I am at their house right now, so he probably doesn't hear this because he's sleeping, but hope he had a great day. He had a rough start to the day with our dogs, but hey, keep them coming, and hope to celebrate many more with that man.
Happy birthday.
What's the number, Drew? Or can we not? I mean, can we not disclose?
73.
All right. Way to go,
big old 7'3".
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I was wondering why you had the NPR voice in the last little bit, and that makes sense now.
Yeah.
All right. Jay, closing thoughts.
I'll keep it short, keep it sweet. My wife has had a hell of a career at LinkedIn. She just celebrated 10 years. Got a lot of recognition this week through the corporate kind of ways. So she's very proud of that. Our whole family is very proud of that. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. She's the backbone of the family. We all love her. And I'll keep it short and sweet. So love you, Margaret.
Congratulations. 10 years. Yeah, that's a big deal. One. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm going to close with a kind of a funny little anecdote story that happened to me literally tonight when I was prepping for this show. There's a little TMI, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I've been a little backed up lately, as they say. So I have been, I put some Miralax in my water bottle to try and help me out a little bit. Yep. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so I did that right before dinner time. And then sitting there watching TV with the kids. I have my laptop open, doing some stuff for the show. And then I looked over and my youngest, who's my 4-year-old son, was just pounding my water, just drinking.
Oh, no.
Just chugged like half of it. Haven't had any fallout from that just yet, but I am a little concerned that things are going to go very poorly for him in the middle of the night or at school tomorrow. I don't know. I almost put him in a pull-up, which he hasn't worn in like months. I don't even know if they'd fit him anymore, but I almost put him in a pull-up tonight just to be safe. I didn't. I might regret that too. But yeah, hey man, parenting's hard. This stuff happens sometimes. So anyway, so that's my closing thought. That's going to do it for us here at Barely Qualified. On behalf of Jason Maxwell and Drew Bailey, I'm Nick Lavris. Thanks for listening. And as always, we will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.